Hi, I'm Pastor Dean DiFino. I've been here at Antioch Church for 3 years. The story is that when I first came here, just to at least to look at the facilities, they showed me the sanctuary. I had my little granddaughter, Jackie, with me. They just wanted to show me the sanctuary. And as I was leaving, I noticed there was stairs upstairs of the sanctuary. They weren't going to take me up there, but I said, I want to see there. My little granddaughter said, yeah, I want to see it too. So they showed it to me. It wasn't, I understand why they didn't. It needed a lot of work, but they never even took me over here. I found out why later. Well, the next time I came, I want to see the fellowship hall. So drudgingly, they came and they showed me downstairs, the auditorium. But that's all they showed me. They showed me the downstairs. It was nice, nice big auditorium. That's where we have skating. There was a stage. It was pretty good. But they pretended there wasn't a second floor. I saw stairs, but they never even offered to do it. So one day when I was here by myself, I said, well, I'm going to go up there. So I came up here, the second floor right here, and I understand why they didn't want me to see it. They thought I'd probably just run. Literally, there was plaster all over the entire second floor because they had a leak in the roof. There's the room that you'll see a little bit later on called the salt shack room. That room, the ceiling was literally on the floor. It was a horrible sight. It was just a whole mess. And a lot of people were discouraged. I had some people say, well, we just need to tear this thing down, Well, as you can see, it's a good solid block building. But I didn't, a few of us said, no, wow, what potential. And that's the theme, of our dedication and everything is, where there is no vision, the people perish. That's from the scriptures. There's no vision, the people perish. And you got to have a vision. So instead of seeing a mess, I saw great potential. Well, the guy that you just saw here, he's head of our trustees. He got to work. We had to fix the roof here, $80,000. And then we had to really clean out this whole second floor. So in February of 2024, we had a staff meeting, and I was saying, I want something for the kids. Years ago, I had visited my brother's church in Anderson, South Carolina. It was a large church, and they had a whole building, I guess it was their old sanctuary, dedicated just for children. And I thought, wow, this is great. So I got the name of the company that did it, a company called Holy Smoke. And I went back. I was at another church in Salisbury, so I made booklets that had pictures and everything, trying to get maybe something at that church, but it fell through the cracks. So years later, when we were at this meeting in February, I was talking about it, but I had lost the book. I couldn't remember the name. I tried to Google it, couldn't find anything. That same day, and this is why I think it was the Lord, that very same day after we dismissed that meeting, when I talked about, this vision that I had, but I couldn't remember the studio that did it, our children's church director, who had been with me at the other church, had brought some bins of children's things to put in her office. And the last bin she opened, there was that book that she had from long ago. So now I had a name, I had a number, I had so I could call the guy. So I called him. His name is David Rowe, and I didn't even know if he would come this far north. He did most of these things in the South. He said, well, I'm going to be up there in May. So he came up in May, and so he and his son came over, and we talked. He knew that we didn't have a lot of money. I said, he looked at our attendance and our finances, and he said, well, you should have more finances. I said, we're in the poorest county, and we're attracting a lot of people that need us, instead of... So he kind of said he sharpened his pencil, and he gave us a great deal on the design. It was something we could afford to do, so he did the design, and then we signed the contract to go with it. We didn't really have that money, but we did have an anonymous donor said he will put up $20,000, up to $20,000 if we raise it. I laid it out to the congregation. Within 3 months, we had the $20,000, the matching $20,000. We had the $40,000 to
that goes to your vision.
Yeah.
And having that vision initially led to it becoming a reality.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And this is what I tell our town officials. I said, the same thing can happen for our town. I mean, you've been to these meetings, and I said, if we can do something here, and I'm going to show you, there's some more things too, not just the real walk. I'll show you some other things that we're thinking about and having ideas about. That if we can, we call this now the Shore Hub, because I want it to be not just for our church, but I want it to be a central place, a hub where people can come
In the community.
and then the community.
Right.
And so that's the key. That's the key issue. Like I said, where there's no vision, the people perish. This is the real walk. We have. He built this this little stage is to be like a boat dock, kind of a little country boat dock. And so we have the time machine. I'd turn back if I were you, where people from the past will come. Tonight, Moses is going to appear through this door. Then we have, of course, the big screen TV. We show, films and animated, Bible stories. We also have movie night here every other month, and we'll show cartoons or a kid's movie. And then we have windows for puppets. So this is the puppet stage, the TV, and the Bible story for the kids. Then over here, we have the crafts. This is the craft section. And of course, we have two of the paintings here in the craft room. This, of course, is Noah and Noah's Ark. And then this is, of course, over here is David and Goliath. And so, for example, for Bible school tonight, they'll all come here. They'll see a movie, a little cartoon area about our Bible story. Moses will come through. Then the smaller kids will come here and do crafts. And the older ones will gather in what we call the Bible story time. Now, holy smoke. Oh, and then here's, this one, of course, is Jonah and the whale. Holy smoke designed all of these shutters to make it look like a country boat dock. When we open this is a whiteboard. And so this is actually their Bible, their verse for tonight. And then over here is just this is a cork board. So when you open it up, it's a cork board. So this is kind of their Bible story learning session. And then, of course, here is hooks. Well, I should tell you that now, obviously, the big ones are just prints. This he actually did paint. He was telling me how meticulous it was just making those. He really is, David Rose is the most talented man I've ever met. He does wood carvings. I mean, just amazing wood carving. He does construction, creativity, and an artist. He's just amazing. Well, this is our hook store. And you can see he really built this great. This is when they come to Sunday school or Bible school, they get fish dollars, and they save their fish dollars, or they could spend them right away. But if you save them, you save enough dollars, you can trade your fish dollars for the top shelf. Of course, the middle shelf's a little less expensive, and then these are the cheaper, the less expensive. But once, at the last Sunday of the month, they save their dollars, or in Bible school, the last day, they can come here and buy, exchange their fish dollars for toys and candy and that type of thing.
This is really cool. It's really cool. I mean, this is a way to engage them.
Yeah.
Outside of just preaching to them.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's a different approach than what you normally do see.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, let me show you. There's another section to this. It's not.
Fisherman's hatch.
Huh?
What is that?
Oh, this is Fisherman's Hatch. This is just storage, but he put up different little things like the Fisherman's Hatch, or like the closet over here is called Gone Fishing, Peter, James, and John. Yeah. So he, like I said, he's very creative, and he puts these little things up here. Yeah, I'll let you go.
Nice.
Let me turn these lights up. And he made these shutters for all the windows. In fact, he actually made an extra one. So there's one.
He got carried away.
I see. He made these in South Carolina. I mean, and they put them together here. This is backstage. Now it's going to be a little hot in there because this blocks out the air conditioning. But oops, wrong color here. This is the backstage where we have all our puppets. And of course, this is Moses. I have to go pick up Moses at the airport down here. You know, he's coming in. Those B-2s kind of interfere with his flight, but this will be his robe where he appears. So this is backstage. You can see we have the puppets can come from this window and the other window as well. And then, of course, we have this little sign here. Unruly children will be used for bait.
Did the Holy Smokes guys have that sign?
Oh, yeah, he put that sign up. Yep, he did. I mean, everything you see here, except for the tables, we bought the tables and chairs, but everything he created and made. That stand there, and of course, all the paintings, TV, install the TV, and all the different decorations, the palm trees, the boat, the little seagulls.
Nice.
And like I said, and then you see these are, then like they have the sign. This is the net. Like I said, this doesn't look like it is now because we're setting it for Bible school, but this is a game room where they play, I think I told you, they play board games here. We have air hockey, we have pool that can also be a ping pong and a couple other games. Of course, the salt shack. This was amazing because this was the room that was really discouraging. I looked in the window here, and I wish I had pictures. I didn't take any pictures at the time, but it really changed everything from what it was. Like I said, they all have TVs. So now we just need kids. Bring your kids. The lunchroom. And of course, they have snacks. They have a refrigerator. They have a microwave. And like I said, all of this and these decorations, these things right here was all designed by Holy Smoke. So now we've seen, this is the main part, the real walk. But what we have over here is a crosswalk to the sanctuary, the upstairs of the sanctuary. I love this. We call this the plank. We call this the pier because what we're doing is we're calling, for example, this room is the boardwalk, and it's just basically another game room. We have ping pong and foosball, for the kids.
This is really nice, Reverend Dean.
And then this, of course, we call this the anchor. This is just a classroom. It has a TV, but we're also looking as a vision of even attracting people to rent the facilities for even conventions, small conventions, where they can use the auditorium, where they can use, and then we can have classrooms, breakout sessions. This would be one of those as a classroom. We call this room, this next room, the Cove. And this is just, again, a teenage hangout room. We got bean bags instead of chairs. So they can just come in, hang out, and again, they have the TV, but just a place it could be a classroom, but kind of a casual classroom, where you just kind of sit around and more of the casual kind of learning. This is kind of the large room up in here. But again, this was another one they didn't want to show us. So this was one of the first things they did. They put in a whole new flooring here. They put a whole new bathroom. And of course, this is a vision. This hasn't been developed yet, but to really have places for homeschoolers to come, to meet, and like I said, classrooms. We got, UAMS gave us some classrooms. I think they're going to give us some more of these kind of desks. So this would be like a little, a small classroom. And then we'll also have a library over here. This is going to be, well, it could be a classroom and library. We're going to have bookshelves and different things here. I wanted to have kind of an electric sign. The old sign, I said, I'm putting my life in danger, because I would open that thing up, especially on this side, the south end of side, and it was creaky. It looked like it had cracks. I thought, if this comes down on me, it just make it like a guillotine or something. So I thought about, like to have electric sign, but really couldn't afford it. And then we had an anonymous donor said that they would give $10,000 for electric sign if they did it now. That was the point. They wanted to do it. So we were able to get that. Well, then Ed, he was looking at some of the buildings out in Salisbury, and he came across, I think it was, well, several paintings there. The Court Sports Center, but he had one. He talked to the artist that was doing this, and he wanted to talk to us. And I thought, well, they were talking like 20-some thousand or something. I said, I'd love to do it, but I don't think we can. But we pursued it, and again, we had some other anonymous donors to put some money into it, and he gave us a great price on painting the outside, the shore hub. And to be honest with you, it really has made it very attractive in this downtown area. This was painted by one of our members who died about a year ago, so we kind of keep that. But this was the last. Remember I told you there was 8? This was the last one from Holy Smoke. And this, of course, is Jesus healing the man that was, you remember, let down from the roof, So I mean, even this section, which wasn't part of it, of Holy Smoke, but he did have this in here. And so it's all the water theme. And then we had to remodel the bathrooms up here, new floors here. This was really the first project that we did. But part of it is the last part of it, because these steps were just completed today. Oh, this is nice. This steps.
Much more safe.
Oh yeah, much more safe. Well, let's show this. This was the only thing they would show me when I first came. Of course, this is the sanctuary. The sanctuary was built, I think, in 1915, I believe. And you see the stained glass windows. Mr. Bach, you'll see his grave out there in the cemetery. His family sponsored this window here. Well, this is the vision that he had for the outside. And so we wanted a scripture verse here. We liked the people shouting there. They could be like, waving, come on in, or, just praise. We have these bronze plaques for celebrating in memory and honor of our first responders, and also dedicated to our veterans. And this is for our veterans. Well, look, I want to point out 2 of these bricks. In memory of Private First Class Jack Howard Smith, U.S. Army, killed in action, Vietnam War, March 13th, 1967. That's my wife's brother. And then this is in honor of her dad. And this is called Continuing the Pathway of Christ. And of course, we have the American flag. Little boy and girl playing ball with the name, the Shore Hub. That's Mr. Bach. Remember I told you the one that really paid money to really helped really build this sanctuary. Now, this is an old cemetery. People may not know this, but there are actually graves under the church. Originally, it was called the Little Red Church. And it was, when they tore it down, they expanded it back, and I guess there were something, but their names are on the, in the church council, so we didn't forget about it. Their names are on the, in the church vestibule there. The Antioch history, this is, there's again a bronze plaque. We got 3 of those, one for the veterans, one for the first responders, and then the history of the church right here. These 2, I think, are important. I want to show you this one. In loving memory of Marlene DiFino Starr. That's my sister. And she established a home in Portland, Oregon for unwed, pregnant women to not abort their children. And she had open adoption. And that's why she saved the lives of many precious babies. And then, of course, this is in loving memory of my father and my mother. He died while we were serving as missionaries in Italy, so he gave his life on the mission field. And then my mom, she was a pastor's wife, and she ministered to children. I guess my ministry to children came from her. The electronic sign we told you about. Yeah, get that, Waves of Wonder, starting tonight. And then that's our logo there, yeah, of course. This is the check-in area, but this is the auditorium. But as you can see, this hardwood floor, this is where we have skating every 3rd Friday. And we installed 2 large TV screens. We put in a whole new sound system. The only thing that we have not done yet that's still left to be remained is stage lighting. I'll show you in case kids don't have skates. We got all kinds of skates. The 3rd Friday from 6 to 7:30, and then 7:30 to 9 is the advanced skaters.
Reverend Dean, you guys have done a really amazing job. Very amazing.
Well, Dale, you've done an amazing job in this city too. What you've done from CROPA too.
We've got to get people to participate.
Yeah.
That's always the tough part, and it'll make your church family feel so much better when you start bringing in those people that normally wouldn't come, but they will come because they know about it. Yeah. And it's an excellent thing. Yeah. So
that's what we're hoping for. Like I said, Dale, when I came here, the Sunday before I came, there was 28 people, all older people, not one young person, not one child. We still don't have a lot of kids or young people, but we've got some, and we're running about 80 on Sunday mornings now. I mean, we got to do more. As I've said before, where there's no vision, the people perish. No matter what's happening in your life, and sometimes the devil will get you discouraged, and it happens to ministers. He works full time on us to get us discouraged because we don't see things like we want to see them right away. But you never ever give up, and like I said, what looks like a horrible situation, if you can pray and ask God to help you, to give you a vision. The Bible says that in the last days, the young men will see visions, and the old men shall dream dreams. Well, visions and dreams are the same thing. So all of us, young and old, can get visions and a dream of something that can be accomplished, and then go to work. I was at Disney not too long ago, and he has little signs up there, Doing the impossible is the fun thing to do. How do you get things done? Quit talking and do it. So the little sayings that of course that he had. So that's basically what I'd say. Just have faith in God, trust Christ. He came to die for our sins. Keep your faith in Him, and be determined that no matter. Now He'll provide our needs, not all our wants. In fact, tonight in Bible school we're going to have that's the main theme. God provides your needs. So we're going to hold up. Is this a need or a want? Candy. Well, that's probably a want. Water, that's a need. Air, that's a need. God will provide our needs, but never give up on your dreams. Seek the Lord, and great things will happen.
Thank you, Reverend Dean. I really appreciate your time and your enthusiasm. I'm always impressed by your enthusiasm. So keep that going. That draws people to you.
Yeah.
And I just want to say